now, have noticed this correlation where every 84 years, when Uranus moves into the sign of Gemini, where it spends for about 7 years, the US is involved in a major war. And in fact, there's been three major instances of this so far in US history. So here's a diagram that Madeline DeCoates from honeycomb.co made for me to help demonstrate this. So the first time in US history that's relevant when Uranus was in Gemini was from 1774 until 1782. And this pretty well coincided with the Revolutionary War when America declared its independence and fought a war of independence from Great Britain. Then 84 years later, when Uranus went through all the other signs of the zodiac and then eventually came back around to Gemini, where it was when the country was founded, it was in Gemini from 1858 until 1866, which very nicely coincided with the Civil War. Then 84 years later, Uranus goes through all the signs and it comes back eventually in a full cycle from 1941 until 1949, which coincided with the US's entry into World War II and the culmination of that war. Then finally, 84 years later, brings us to now, which is Uranus is going into Gemini tonight and tomorrow, July 7th, 2025, and it's going to stay in Gemini until 2033. So that pattern and that repetition has been known about for as long as I've been an astrologer. I've been studying astrology since 1999, which is over 25 years now. And I know astrologers have been talking about this and have known about this repetition since at least then. And we've talked about it many, many times on the podcast over the years, especially on the forecast episodes. But I've also done two episodes entirely dedicated to studying that pattern in history.